Hello, fellow plant enthusiasts. So, I recently purchased the Selaginella uncinata, and whenever you get a new plant, you want to research it online and know how to properly care for it. And there has to be a little bit of caution with the advice you receive from looking online. And sometimes you see the same advice perpetuated on multiple websites, and sometimes that may not be the best advice. It could work for the plant, but perhaps not in the way or the environment you have it in. Now, if you look at, for example, the pothos plant, a lot of websites claim that they do not flower. However, that is completely incorrect. It just takes so long because the plant has to get really enormous and the vine branches have to be really, really long in order for it to flower. So most people who have a pothos will never see their plant flower. So you'll see that they don't flower posted on many websites that are giving you information about the plant. However, that is not necessarily true. Now, when it comes to the Selaginella uncinata, I had recently purchased this and excited to have a nice iridescent plant, but a lot of these websites say you can never give them too much water and everything, that they love water. So when I repotted it, I made sure it was well watered, and you can see how I decimated the plant heeding their advice. So now I have to get this to recover. I do have a few sprigs that I planted in a couple small terrariums and one open one that are still doing fine. I still have to figure out what to put in there to fill it up. So at least all is not lost on this plant, but keep in mind that sometimes the advice may work for some people and they give it, but not always for you and your situation. Whoever wrote the advice and it's now perpetuated on the internet probably used a pot with drainage holes, whereas this one doesn't. So it sat in standing water and didn't evaporate fast enough, but the plant is still alive, so it should survive. But the reality is, I took advice off the internet on this plant and it did not work for me. Now, no need to go attack websites if you get wrong advice, because different plants will grow. Some people say, this plant is so easy to grow, and then you try it and you have so much difficulty. And that's because everybody's house, their environment, where they have their plant relative to the air vents, how much humidity your plant has. I've noticed that older houses can sometimes have a little more humidity, but it really depends on the house. Also, some houses have nice big windows and others have smaller windows, and some let more light in based on which window you put relative to the sun angle and the time of year. So keep in mind that all of that will affect how your plant does. So when you read advice on how to properly care for your plant, make sure that you know that you have to accommodate based on your situation relative to the situation that whoever's giving the advice has their plant in. But overall, more light, as long as you don't scorch a plant, even if it's a low light plant, they're happy with. And you don't want it to completely dry out, and they're happy with that too. But keep these things in mind when you are researching your plants to know how to properly care for them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and now you know to reason the information you're taught and not just take everything at face value, because your environment may be a little different than whoever's giving the advice. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and happy planting.